Hey everybody, another little quick video. I've had a few questions and I noticed in our introductory discussion a number of people sharing that they were pretty new to Canvas. So this isn't thorough, but it's just a getting started. This is our dashboard after you have signed into Canvas from Saddleback, and I'm on a regular laptop, not on a tablet and not on a phone. Here's our course. I need to make it look like a student. So there's a purplish colored thing on the bottom. That's because I have an option to look at our course like a student. You won't see that purple down there. Your to-do list made me look very different because this is what's kind of a fake student account, and this fake student hasn't done anything. So, all right. So to find the e-textbook, I think that's a question that came up. To find what chapters am I supposed to read for this, these quizzes coming up and all that stuff. The place to start was modules, and we've completed week 1, so I personally has collapsed it, but sometimes we want to look and see there's some resources in here that are kind of helpful, like how to forward your email, how to get the app if you haven't already investigated that yet, sample listening quiz instructions. In fact, that's pretty nifty because it kind of guides you in a text way through potentially kind of the questions you might encounter for a song. And then a sample listening quiz. This is really helpful because we all have different browsers, although Chrome is highly recommended, but we have different Wi-Fi capabilities, and using multimedia in any kind of course can always be a little bit hit and miss depending on our broadband and some of that other stuff. So you can take this fake quiz as many times as you want. Notice there's no points. It also gives you the opportunity to kind of feel what it is going to feel like to take the actual listening quiz. Because in our course we have 2 kinds of quizzes. Quizzes that don't have any music and then quizzes that do. Let me show you that. Hopefully the sound will work real quick here. I don't want to take up too much of your time. All right, so there's players that will load. Some of them will be YouTube players. Some of them will just be simple MP3 players. That's what this one is. Because if I don't want you to see something because I'm asking a question about maybe the group, there's the music, then I would have uploaded in just a simple MP3 instead of a YouTube. So you can stop it, you can start it, laugh. And again, this is a fake one. And we're going to say, who produced it? I don't know. Let's say it's this guy. Let's guess, and you can play around with these quite a bit. You can submit it. Uh-oh, I haven't answered 3 of the questions. Yeah, it's a fake quiz. That's okay. All right, and it says that I got 0 out of 0. Yeah, so it shows you which is unanswered, and it showed you the right answer for that one. I should have picked Phil Spector for that little example that I played. All right, that's the sample quiz. You can always go back to modules anytime. I think it's probably better in some cases than hitting the back button of your browser, but that is completely up to you. So we're in Unit 1, and that's the meat and potatoes, and that's where you're going to find the e-text. There's a link to our library for the e-text. I'm going to close that first just because I like a clean screen. There is an overview video that is exactly that. It is not giving you any deep answers that you're going to need to answer from the study guide, but it is an overview of the themes you're going to address in this unit. And that's me talking to some pictures. And this is the magic one. So let's pretend this was closed when you got to it, because see, all the rest of them are closed. Again, I like a neat screen. Open it. Watch the video if you want. They're very short. I try to make them under 5 minutes. Usually they're between 2 to 3 minutes in length. Study resources is the magic button where you're going to find that e-text. All right, the first thing that you are provided with is the actual study questions. This is what I pull for the pool of the questions for the non-listening quizzes. I highly recommend that you download it and print it if you have the capacity, or maybe some of you have the ability to write on tablets and things, but have it with you as you're reading through the chapters for each unit and answer those questions. You may have to go back and forth because the e-text, which is down here, Plus, this is something people forget, there are additional articles and websites in every unit. So there's a what kind of music is that article, and when you click there it will open up again. You can save that screen if you want to refer to it later. There's an article on the women of the blues that will have questions in that study guide, and a wiki article on the $1 Million Quartet. First thing I noticed about 4 years ago when I put together this zero textbook pedagogy, students keep forgetting to read the wiki article. And there will be some questions near the bottom of the list, I believe they are, on the study guide about the $1 Million Quartet. This is your go-to for those kinds of questions. There's just under 5 questions there. Here's the e-text. I should be asked to sign in because I don't think I've signed in a few days, but my browser history might have remembered me. But if you click here, yeah, good. You get to see the Saddleback College Library. Put in your regular student name, username, and password. It should be the same that you did to get into Canvas. And I will put in mine so you can see it here. Not my password, you don't get to see that. Let's see if it works. Always a gamble. Things work or don't work sometime. And it takes you, this is what should be happening, to American Popular Music, the Rock Years. You can do lots of things on this page. You can download the entire book if you feel necessary. You don't have to, because you can just go to individual chapters. Unit 1 covers 1, 2, and 3. The music is only from 2 and 3, but there's a lot of interesting information, and the study guide has questions from chapter 1. So you could download an individual chapter at a time. I believe there's a time limit, but I think it's a relatively reasonable amount of time, at least a week or so. But in case, so I'm going to go back to a tab that has our study resources on it. You couldn't see that because it was out of the angle. I provided PDFs of the first 3 chapters, and then for Unit 2, the second 2 chapters after that, because there is occasional times where we can't, it happened only once, but you know, once is enough for me to shift it around. The library had a meltdown, not literally, but there was some sort of technological thing, and we couldn't get to our ebook, and it was the night of the quiz closing, and you can imagine people kind of had a freak out. So ever since then, I do put those PDFs in there. So you have 2 options of how to get to the material for the unit. There's a to-do list here. And then I'm a nerd, so I always put extra resources for students. Anything below this little small font is optional. There's interesting biographies, there's interesting websites, there's some really good documentaries. These, I haven't honestly checked every single URL to make sure they're active, but a majority of them are, and I really, part of my summer fun is to expand upon these a little bit. So if you wanted more on Hank Williams, you could go to the biography of Hank Williams. Johnny Cash's autobiography, fantastic read if you're of that, you know, ilk and you like to read that stuff. So that's super quick. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time, and I hope it helps. Good luck, everybody.